everyone, my name is Ray, and today we're going to be talking about a game that I have finished. I think it was yesterday or so. Never got around to actually do a post-match commentary, but here we are. Playing the Ocean Matchmaker. I mean, let me see here. It's 2 subs, 4 DDs, and 3 battleships, 1 carrier. This match is pretty much just going to be me just power farming on A side. I don't really exactly remember what happened this game. I just know that last night was kind of a disaster, so I think I played like 8 battles in Ocean. Some on my main account, some on my press account. And this one was on my press account, so it's from what it seems like, my luck on my press account is just better, where I can just get these massive farming games because battleships just show broadside and destroyer players just eat the torpedoes. Also facing against a really good matchup, FDR. You can just tell who's decent at carriers just from how they place their first fighter squadron. Like earlier, that FDR just places fighters just randomly just because I was flying towards him. Makes no sense to drop fighters like that ever, especially on FDR who lacks a 3rd squadron that has fighters. Just don't do it. Use them for spotting. It's just better that way. But yeah, so Jinan uses DFA, Holland uses DFA, Laffy is also on the same cap. That gives me all the indicators to just not focus decap ever. I see Montana on A side. I see the Schlieffen also coming towards A cap. So I will go ahead and just put all my attention towards A cap. But also because I'm also here as well, so seeing how Ocean is a Colossus class carrier, it goes extremely slow at 25 knots and it has 0 armor. The flight deck is buffed to 30 millimeters of armor. That was like pretty much mandatory because it is tier 10. So yeah, we're gonna be focusing on A side. FDR tries to do a drop on me. I don't know how he fumbled that so hard. You could just start the drop and then slowly turn, but I guess he wasn't anticipating the manual hard turning that we were doing, and we're still doing actually. See my carriers just looping around in a circle. It always is faster to do that instead of relying on autopilot, because autopilot cuts your speed by half. Meanwhile, if you manually turn it, you can see on the bottom left that I am going full speed. So we dropped the Montana here, and then I'm just doing a simple chain drop. Montana into Barbiano. These torps are quite difficult to hit because they are the Malta style, the spreading torpedoes. They're not like the S6 where the torps go straight. So you really want to lead and try to anticipate how the enemy ship is going to be positioned after their turn, because they will turn away. Barbiano here, he continues to turn, and my 2 torps in the center end up landing on him, and it does start a flood, and he has to smoke up immediately. 3 torps actually land, which is really good. We spot the submarine in the ping, so we know exactly where everyone is. Schlieffen, Conqueror, Montana are all trying to run into A cap, and this is basically just free damage. It's a buffet. So a lot of controversy regarding the jets, which is understandable. Jets are jets. Tier 10, no one has jets. This is the first carrier to ever have jets in this tier. But something you gotta know is each plane has tier 4 levels of HP. And because they are so incredibly fast, you cannot drop a target like a destroyer without being able to spot them preemptively. Yeah, they do pretty decent damage, 7.5k on the Montana. But you can see there, we did lose a plane, so that drastically ruins the amount of alpha that you can dish out. And then because of that one run, we released it, we got drops on the Montana. Now we have to wait over 2 minutes. Was it 2 minutes and like 20 seconds? So now I'm forced to use my torpedo squadron again. And now we are going to have to use a heal here as well. Heal is a standard timer, 2 minutes. You see that we do take a good chunk of damage because the FDR was spotting me, but that's okay. We have smokes, we still have HP. Just start sailing away because they are pushing me. FDR is going to be focusing this side. He is most likely going to go after the Republic, so I will be spotted. So just continue sailing away, keep dropping these guys as best as possible, trying to stall them out. The one good thing about the Ocean is because it has 4 torps and it has 47% flood chance, and also the fact that your torps are spreading, the chances of you getting a flood on a target or just breaking anything on their ship is extremely high. Because your center torps will land where the torpedo protection is, which is already mitigating the amount of floods there are. But your 2 outer torps will be spreading, so increasing the chance of the torps landing on the bow or the stern, which is not protected. I think we also land another flood on this Schlieffen, and yeah, and then we activate Cunningham. We get the improved speed on our planes, so everything is good. Yeah, so talking about the smokes now. The smokes, you do have +1 charge compared to Essex. So Essex has 2 on each of her tacticals. Ocean has 3. And it's really nice for late game because, well, you don't have to invest into consumables, the upgrade. As you can see here, Barbiano was spotted before I got to him, so I can aim it properly, release my ordnance, and boom, he's just dead. Strikes like that rarely ever happen, especially if the destroyer is not spotted. There's absolutely no way you can spot the destroyer with your tactical jets and start the strike. Specifically the rockets, because you have to aim ahead of time. For the bombs, you can just start the run and just drop them almost immediately. So we can see here, we are spotting the Montana for the Laffy. We do our strike on the Conqueror. 114k, 3 battleships, and there's an FDR here. Cerberus is also here as well, but not a big deal. This is a mistake. I should have turned to the left instead of turning my squadron to the right. Would have gotten a much better angle, but oh well. We decided to go back in now because the game is in our favor at the moment. I don't think that, you know, at this point that there was any way that we're going to lose. Everyone was just going to die. Montana is also going to get farmed out. I go ahead and drop the better, the ship that's at a better angle for me, because the Montana is perpendicular, full broadside. We got 1 bomb hit. I think we lost 2 planes there actually with our jets. Yeah, these jets have tier 4 levels of HP. Pretty tragic. I look up in the sky to see how many torpedoes were going to be coming back, but it's just 1 plane. I can see we are deplaned with our torpedo bombers, so 8 minutes into the match and already pretty much deplaned. So this is where Ocean starts to fall off, especially in a more AA intensive game like this. The battleships are all grouped up, so naturally we will lose planes. We have to rely on our hero squad, our hero consumable. If you don't have that many torpedo bombers, you can just see the torpedo spread is just disastrous. But thankfully, Schlieffen was reversing full broadside. But if you are in like the mid to late game and you are running out of steam with your torpedo bombers, what you can do is pre-drop your initial attack flight and just go in with 4 or 5 planes and use the heal right there. If you don't have that many planes left, you have like 3 or 4 planes, it's generally just not worth using the heal at that point because you already have what is that? It's like a hidden buff modifier if you are on your last attack flight, like your attacking squadron. So in this case, 4 planes. You can just not use the heal and you get a buff where it reduces the amount of AA damage that you take. So you can try to be more efficient that way. Cerberus sailing away, angled. Pretty easy drop. You just have to lead properly. I should have showed the actual like the torpedo drop in so you guys can see how the torpedoes are actually following the target, but spreading torpedoes have its perks for those kind of cases because if they turn the wrong direction, the torpedoes are going to land. In that situation where the Cerberus was kiting away from my team and I dropped him at that angle, he had to have just turned inwards. If he turned away, his stern would have just eaten the right side most torpedo, and then he would have just eaten like 3. If he turned in at that very moment that I was striking him, he would have only eaten like 2, possibly even 1. it's just a little weird because the torpedoes are spreading, and so you're trying to turn into or away from them to mitigate as much damage as possible. The last thing you want to do is eat it on the stern, where it'll just break your engine, because these torpedoes, they do hit pretty hard. It's what, 5.7k now, I think, alpha? 5.6, 5.7, something around there, after the buff. So yeah, they are, they're no longer pea shooters, which is very nice. There's the bomb drop. Land 2 bombs on that. Yeah, 2 bombs, 5.3k, pretty good. I don't know if he was saturated or not. I think he just ate torpedoes or something. I don't know. 180k, I think this is pretty much the end of the game, but yeah, I mean, this is the ocean gameplay. Now, in a match where there was, you know, for example, in the beginning, early game, there was a Laffy, a Jinan, and a, what was it, a Holland, and all the battleships were on A side, and their entire AA group was on B and D cap. If they spread them out evenly across the board, there's probably nothing that I could have done this game. But because they positioned the way that they did, with their battleships all running into A cap, I was able to just farm and pretty much just steamroll the game, because there's no way FDR can keep up with this. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the game. Quick one. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me down below. If you see a lot of comments about how the ship doesn't seem very worth it, but in my opinion, it is probably the 3rd strongest carrier for tier 10. Looking at around, what, Shinano S6 top 2, Ocean as 3rd. But yeah, I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Peace.